Hey peeps and everybody at the Parrots YouTube channel. We need to get as much traffic as we can in, so please share our videos. I'm sharing my life as a Holy Family descendant before it's too late, because I don't know how long I have. And what that means is I could be gone before the world knows that we were even here. I am from the Rose line, like in the Da Vinci Code. I have shared about that in other videos on my wall. I've done some movie reviews about similar movies and topics. And I know I've been promising to do the video on Holy Family miracle abilities. So, here goes. Just because one came up today, I noticed that Roe versus Wade was trending on X, formerly Twitter, all over again. Yay! So, what did I use my Holy Family abilities for when Roe versus Wade, an affirmative action, went kaput in the Supreme Court? I put all 5 court justices responsible for those votes into shiny little coins that if anything happens to me, they will default to hell for their transgressions. Because here's how this works. When someone transgresses before God, and a member of the Holy Family, who's God's witnesses on earth, witnesses such things, what that means is they leave their soul open. That means it can be commandeered by anyone, including Holy Family members. Now, there are people on the other side, in another faith, that also tend to be really good at working with demonology and souls. And I learned a whole lot growing up about this sort of stuff, and it turns out commandeering people's souls was much easier than I thought. You know all those videos going around on YouTube about how Jesus used a wand at one point in his life, and that there's historical depictions of this? Well, I handcrafted the first ever electrified wand. And I can basically do it just by having somebody's image, having a picture of them. So I went and looked up the Supreme Court justices responsible for this shiznit and put them into shiny little coins. The very next day is when the news story came out about Clarence Thomas and the alleged payoffs. So it seems to work. I've got the other 5 on standby whenever people are ready to tackle affirmative action. I was so happy to see Roe versus Wade trending again, and people demanding that something be done about that, because what I detected was a possible dummy court situation that I reported to the authorities. And it seems like they have listened to that, even though they have yet to take my case, which might mean a lot of victims will go without justice. So if you get a chance to pressure them to take this case and save my life, that'd be great. Other Holy Family abilities, demonology. So in the Bible, it talks about how Jesus drove a demon that they referred to as Legion into 1,000 pigs and off a cliff. So clearly Jesus had some abilities in demonology, and so do I. I might have released 3 on people who probably deserved it. Normally I don't do stuff like that as a Holy Family member. I like to use my abilities for good, but sometimes it's got to be to right or wrong. So it turns out I'm pretty good at demonology too. I don't like doing it though. And rest assured, 2 of the 3 have already been put back where they belong. I also took the opportunity to pull Prince's soul out of hell, because when I noticed he was down there, I didn't know how that happened, and I was like, what? I love him. And the sucky part was, remember that video I did about Dante's Inferno that's up on my channel, and about what happens in hell and how they might be making chimeras, like hacking up animal parts and sewing them together. And this is in ancient Egyptian mythology too, where you have chimera looking creatures with like the head of one animal and a different body. So they might be doing that down in hell according to Dante's Inferno. So when I pulled Prince out, I had to pull him out in 4 pieces, and he had a tail. And it was not the easiest thing I have ever done. That was by far one of the hardest. Remember when I said that walking on water was one of the hardest? And I only managed to do that for 2 or 3 seconds before I fell through the water. But I was just a little girl at the time, too. And it was only that one time that I accomplished it, and it took practice and practice. So one thing you guys got to understand is that I have spent decades studying this stuff and learning this stuff and practicing this stuff. I have practiced everything from tulpamancy to all sorts of things. I figure if Jesus learned, he may have studied in India, he may have studied Buddhism and Hinduism in India in his youth, he may have studied with the Gnostics, the Essenes, the Zealots. I figured it was my responsibility, if I was going to be a Holy Family member and learned how to use my abilities right, that I might as well do it like Jesus. And Jesus learned from the people that he went and spent time with, just as much as he taught them. So he was learning while he was teaching, and I've gone through my life that way too. Other Holy Family abilities, working with large beasts and creatures. So a lot of people have seen some of my animal abilities on our channel. There's a video on our channel about her painting. I taught her how to paint. I don't know that she would do it with anyone else though. You know that scene in The Mandalorian when Baby Yoda or Baby Grogu helps that planet with its unruly beast? I'm thinking George Lucas probably took that from the story of Martha Lazarus in France. In France, there are legends that when the Holy Family showed up there, that Martha Lazarus may have helped a French village defeat an unruly beast. And this is also mentioned in the infancy Gospels. There is another story of an unruly reptilian beast that is devouring children in the infancy Gospels that the Holy Family helps the village get rid of. So we seem to be good with animals and creatures. I would hope so. I would hope so with her. A lot of people have seen a lot of the stuff that I have trained on this channel. We spent many years doing that before my life came crashing down and we had to change our focus to save my life. But I taught her aerial hoop. She's been learning ballet. Yes. And a little bit of painting. And like I said, I don't know that she would do that with other people. I seem to just be very good at that. Other abilities, I got very good at divination, crystal scrying, crystal dowsing with rods, mapping ley lines. The Holy Family is also very good at things involving water and beverages. We made wine, and I love that the millennials are keeping the tradition of wine alive, but we seem very good at crafting beverages. I used to love coming up with new cocktail recipes and stuff. I'm just good at that. I have this one, which is a winter eggnog that is a chocolate eggnog with chocolate fudge and spiced rum that is warm, and it is so good, and you have to cook it on the stove. So we get really good at that. My grandpa tried making wine once, and it didn't go so well. I tried to help him in the basement. He got a wine crafting kit as a holiday gift, and we tried our hand at that. I'm pretty good at fermenting stuff. So in terms of crafting beverages and fermenting things like wine, I am really good at making kombucha in June. In fact, once I developed a type of kombucha. It was orange spice flavored for the holidays, but I made it out of a soil-based organism because I was dealing with a really bad case of C. diff at the time, and the medicine was not being super great for me, and I wasn't able to continue with the medicine. And I thought, okay, what else can I do? And I started researching enzymes and probiotics really heavily, and I learned about some soil-based organisms that are supposed to be good for C. diff. I can't say that I can cure anything, just as a disclaimer there, but I found this type of soil-based organism, and let me tell you how hard it is to make a yummy tasting kombucha out of a soil-based organism, because they taste like dirt. And then trying to ferment citrus fruit